Hello, hello. Welcome to Take What Rings True. So, this site is a site for me to share spiritual thoughts, and you can believe them or not. So, take what rings true to you and let the rest go. So, today I want to talk about age is a number. And most of this information came from spirit guides when I would go to trance classes every week, and my mentor, Sylvia Brown, would go into trance, then go sit on a bench on the other side, and her spirit guide, either Rahim or Francine, would come in and talk to us. So this is from, I believe, everything. Well, there's one quote from Francine, but everything else, I believe, is from Rahim. So I'm sure since becoming an adult, you have not aged a day. But for the rest of us, let me talk to you about aging. So spirit guides tell us we're all 30 on the other side in heaven. Why 30? I don't know. That's just what's been chosen, 30. So most of us look and feel older once we get past 30 on Earth. Why is that? On the other hand, have you noticed some people at 30 look like they're 20 or 18? I remember when I was 30, I went to an event, an air show, and one of the people I was talking to wasn't sure I was of age, so I had to show my ID. So at that time, I looked much younger. I remember going to a class reunion, and I was thinking, some of these people look like 60, 70, 80, and other people looked younger. And they were all my age from my class. So why is that? So guides told us two reasons. Number one, illness. And number two, frame of mind. So let's talk about that. Let's start with illness. So you have a life chart. And it is totally possible you wrote in your life chart, I want to experience this illness for this lifetime. Maybe it's MS or polio or ALS or whatever it is. Okay, that's something you chose to experience that overarches that lifetime, this lifetime. On the other hand, if you did not choose a chronic disease, a disease that's going to go through your life, then you don't need to have illness. Now, that's a big concept. So aside from charted chronic diseases, spirit guides tell us we choose a way to exit life. So it may be a heart attack, it may be diabetes, it may be whatever, a surgery that you don't come out of. But that's the end of your life, and you've chosen that little piece of time to be ill. The rest of the time, you do not need to be ill. Now, some people enjoy suffering. Perhaps it's the religious thought put on people, suffer and you'll become a saint or a martyr. Well, some people embrace that completely. You probably know someone who likes to claim a condition, their backache, their illness, their scar tissue, their upcoming surgery, and they revel in being the victim of that illness, that condition, or multiple illnesses and conditions. And perhaps it's because they have something to talk about. Now, it's not because they've chosen the life theme of victim, because they can overcome that. You don't have to be ill for your life. And a person can be healed if they want to. Spirit guides told this over and over and over again. You can be healed if you want to be. That's aside from you decided to sign up for MS or whatever. And even those illnesses that are charted, they can be softened. They can be like put in, what do you call that? In stasis, so you don't feel them. I know there's some people with MS, like Donna Eden, or who's the guy Sylvia used to be on the show, Montel Williams. They've softened those those conditions. They're not choosing to become overly suffering from that condition. So if you have not signed up for a lifetime illness, then stop being ill. You choose what you are going to experience. You choose to be well, you choose to not be well. Now that's a concept. And part of the problem is the media. It's flu season, or all these commercials, arthritis, cancer, heart disease, high blood pressure. And you think, oh, do I have that? Oh, my aunt had that, so maybe I should have it. And then you program for it. Stop programming for stuff you don't need. So if you can be healed and you can feel well and you can be well in body, mind, and spirit, if you want to, then let's stop programming for what we don't want. Now, prayers help. Also, going out and doing things. Don't isolate yourself in your house. And even if you have a job where you just work like in your little cubicle and you don't have to interact with people very much, don't get into the habit of just being reclusive, because then your frame of mind gets warped. And that's the other thing, illness and frame of mind. So let's go to frame of mind. So you listen to these commercials, you listen to what's going on, a whole bunch of people are getting heart attacks. A whole bunch of people are having high blood pressure. And my doctor gave me, 28% that I'm going to have this issue. It's like, why are you doing that? She does not have a book of my life that says, I'm going to have whatever condition. No. So don't let doctors or media or your best friend or your uncle tell you, you are going to get blank. That's not true. If it's not that issue on your chart that you wrote in, do not change this, then you don't have to have it. You don't have to be ill. You don't have to suffer. And we get so worried, we're such powerful creators. We create the illness we don't want. So we're worrying, stressing, internalizing, oh, maybe I have this issue. Everybody in my family has condition, whatever, diabetes. Well, then I must get it. Well, then you're programming to get it. Don't program to get it. If it's not in your chart, you do not have to have it. And even if it is in your chart, it can be softened. None of us were meant to suffer. I'm going to quote now. But none of you were meant to suffer horrendously, either in life or out of life. So going out of life or during life. You were meant to have something that would create your demise or your exit from this world. But we were not designed to suffer horrendously during life. Now, if you signed up for something that's a yucky illness like MS, then you program to have it softened. You don't have to suffer. So don't let people or media program you or yourself. We hear things like, oh, she's over the hill, or they're too old to blank. What was it? I think I talked about this. I think it was a 94-year-old lady who just did the Appalachian Trail. It's like, you're not too old. If you're alive, you're not too old to do what you want to do. Now, that does not mean you're going to become a prima ballerina. It does mean you can do ballet. It doesn't mean you're going to become a professional football player. That does not mean you cannot play football with your friends or your nephews and nieces. So stop with this, I'm too old. Stop with this, oh, flu season, I must be prepared to get the flu. Don't. Program not to get it. Program yourself. I do not need to be ill. So tell your body, I want you to be healthy. I want you to be fit. I want all cells to come to my personal optimum. I want all my energy to be at my personal optimum. Otherwise, you program yourself to not be the way you want to be. So don't let people put you in a box. Oh, this family has diabetes, you're going to get diabetes. Oh, you scored this on your blood test, therefore this is going to happen to you. No, negate that. Not my truth. The thing, I've talked about this before, Rahim would say, think of an audio in your head and eject it. Just touch your forehead and go, no, eject that idea, not mine. I'm not holding it. Don't hold on to the ideas that do not serve you. Or you can wear elastic, he said a rubber band, or elastic bracelet, and just snap it and tell yourself, nope, not my truth. Let it go. We get programmed so much by everyone and everything. There's you're over 40, so you can't work in this industry. Or if any of you are old enough, Walter Cronkite was a newscaster and they made him retire at 65. Was he in horrible condition? Was he not able to speak? No, but he turned that magic age, and therefore it's like, you have to retire. Go away. So stop treating yourself like other people are treating you badly. Don't allow that. So back to Rahim. He said this whole aging thing started about the year 500. Before that, people worked until they dropped. So you may remember your grandparents or a mother who worked right up until the time they died. He was talking about, he lived, I think, in 400 AD. And he said his mom worked until she passed away. She had an illness, which in today's world would be considered severe, and stay in bed or, sit in a chair because you have this illness and therefore you shouldn't do anything anymore. He said she was baking bread right up until the end. And she was moving, she was living life. Don't let people take that away from you. He also talked, Rahim, the spirit guide, also talked about in the olden days, he didn't say it that way, in his time, people just kept on working. People worked in the fields, they worked outside, they baked bread, they did things. And they expected to be able to do things. And he said, when things got easier because we have machines and we have technology, then we have more time to think. So what do? We stay in our houses and we isolate ourselves. And then when the television comes on, it says flu season or heart conditions, we start thinking, oh, I probably have that. And then we program ourselves to be ill. Stop it. Go out. Go for a walk in the park. Go watch your grandkids. Do something that's outside of yourself and outside of your illness. Get over it. I've talked about Kathy before. Kathy was a minister at Novus Spiritus, and she was very ill and in bed, and that was how she was choosing to exit. But she was not suffering. She put herself above her body, like she was in her etheric body or heavenly body, and she was above any pain. She was above any hurt or mental anguish. You can do that too. If it's the end of your life, you do not have to suffer. If it's at this point in time that you've chosen a chronic illness, get above it, get beyond it. Find out how other people have done it. And don't allow yourself to suffer. You do not have to suffer. Age, you do not have to age. I remember he was talking about, I forget, it wasn't Nefertiti, maybe it was Cleopatra, that when they started using all these salves and ointments and all this stuff, That's when they started programming it. Oh, you're going to get old. You're going to have wrinkles that are going to be horrible. You're going to, whatever it is. And humankind started believing that, oh, I'm going to age and it's going to be whatever. You have in your mind a little list of, okay, people who have aged, people who are old, people who are elderly are blank, 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 blank. And you program yourself to do that. I remember Raheem one time was saying, there's middle age, there's old age. He said, stop with that. I think he said 70. He said, make middle age 70. And then, long middle age. And then just before you die is old age. Stop believing all the labels. We're really 30 on the other side. We can hold that countenance with us in this lifetime. So I remember Sylvia's grandmother broke her hip at 84. And of course, the doctor said, oh, bone marrow won't heal at your age. You won't be able to walk very much, blah, blah. Well, it healed because she did not believe that it was not possible. She believed it was possible. Her hip would heal, so it healed. Talk to your body. Be definite. Mind, body, spirit, your whole countenance and all of your senses. See it, feel it, know it, believe it, hear it, see it, taste it. Make yourself a vision of what you want to be, how well you want to be, how fit you want to be, and then make that your reality. You are a programmer. You can choose how you want to feel. You can choose to feel better. You can choose not to be ill, except we already talked about your chart, but even that can be softened. So go out, be with people. And if you're around somebody who's a victim, holding on to being a victim, don't cast your pearls before swine. You know that saying? Don't cast your pearls before swine. Don't waste all your energy trying to help someone who doesn't want your help. They're enjoying being a victim. Well, then let them be a victim. Send them blessings, pray for them, and then go away. Don't get caught up in their victimness. So take a breath. Make sure you stay outside of yourself most of the time, not worry, and program for what you don't want. Stop the negative loops. Oh, maybe I'll get diabetes. Maybe I'll get heart disease. Maybe I'll get, stop. Instead, make the loop be positive. I am as well as I want to be. I feel wonderful. My body supports me. My body gives me strength and energy. My body is continuously renewing itself to optimum health. Make it positive. And if you come up with the negative things, eject those audios. Let them go. I think he was a psychologist. I tried to pull up the actual article, but a lady decided to do some research. She created an environment, like, going on a retreat. She created an environment of the 1950s. The music, the ambiance, the clothing, the conversations, all things 1950s. And then she brought in clients or people who were volunteers. I don't know. I don't have the article right now. Who had their heyday in the 50s. And she had recorded before they started, their illnesses, their frame of mind, their acuity, how well they could think, all that stuff she had recorded. So that was a baseline. They lived in the 1950s environment for, I don't remember how long, say 2 weeks, 3 weeks. People started having lower blood pressure. People started enjoying life more. People were more active. People's muscles were not hurting. People's joints were not hurting. They reverted back to the 1950s. They were enjoying life so much more. And a lot of the illnesses and chronic conditions and not being able to sleep went away. So that was reframing. That was their point of view. So their frame of mind changed. If they can do it, you can do it. So decide, do you want to feel better or not? Do you want to be more fit or not? You know, Sylvia and Francine, the other spirit guide that Sylvia had, would say, you can only hold one emotion at a time. Do you want to be depressed or you want to be joyful? Do you want to feel wonderful about yourself or you want to feel awful about yourself? What do you choose? So another thing people are always saying, act as if. Okay, I'm depressed now. Okay, then act as if I'm joyful. Act as if I'm happy. Put on clothes that make you feel good. Go out and enjoy something you like doing. Take yourself to the movies if nobody will go with you. Go out to dinner with somebody. But choose to be well. Choose to feel well. Choose to feel fit. Gather joy and love around you and let go of the yucky stuff. One emotion at a time. I choose joy. What do you choose? So I am going to do an experiment and you can join me. You have to realize that you need to commit for 7 days to start, where you would take 45 minutes to an hour and listen to an audio. I may start out with it live. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I'm a hypnotist, and meditation guide, and I believe in the possible. So let's have a program. This is a beta test. Let's have a program where we talk to our bodies, or we listen to audio where I'm talking to you to talk to your body. And you become more fit. You become more cognizant. You become a better version of yourself. You go to your personal optimum health, your personal optimum mental state of being. You drop away the negativity that you don't need to hold on to. You focus on whatever emotion you want to focus on: joy, love, feeling wonderful, and you drop the programming. So if you are interested in being part of my experiment, like the 1950s, only this is going to be whatever age you are, it doesn't matter, that it'll be generic. It doesn't have to be the 1950s. And go back to the time where you felt the most fit, you felt the most healthy, you have the most positive frame of mind, the most optimistic, and letting go of all the feeling of being ill, all the programming that people are trying to give you and media. So if you're interested in joining me in this endeavor, I will record all the sessions and you can listen to them as you wish. And if you have a specific concern, you can let me know what that is so that I make sure it's covered in some way. So if you're interested in the experiment of being well, feeling fit, then contact me. You can leave a message in the comments on Facebook, or on YouTube, or you can contact me through email, heavenlyhypnotist@gmail.com, heavenlyhypnotist@gmail.com, or if you're on Facebook, you can go to my Facebook site, my Facebook page. Either Take What Rings True. I think you can do messages on there. You can send me a private message, or you can go to my page, Teresa Micheletti, and send me a message. So I look forward to working with you should you choose to do that experiment with me. And if not, have a wonderful week, a wonderful day, and choose a positive emotion for this day. I'm going to choose joy. What do you choose? And remember, age is a number. Thanks. Bye.